Hi, folks. Chocolate Yoddah here, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. Memorial Day 2024 passed a couple of weeks ago, and I made a post praising soldiers, and I do it every year. Some people have suggested that maybe there's an incongruence between how I feel about war and how I feel about warriors. And maybe there is, but I can explain it very simply. War is detestable to me because it's just really about greed and business and governments. It's not about the things that they tell you it's about. It's just a way for people to get rich. And unfortunately, people have to die. And the real believers are the ones that die. It's not these craven politicians and craven business owners who have no problem sending other people's children to die. They're safe. They stay safe. Their children stay safe. But the true believers are the ones who wind up dying. So I think about the reality of a soldier. You know, you take this person who's, not quite a child, but not really a man yet, so sort of a young man, an 18-year-old who has been propagandized his whole life to think that his country is the best and his country is godly and righteous and right, and that the enemy is really just a bunch of savages who are ungodly and who are trying to hurt his way of life and hurt his family and hurt his country. And, they pump this into a child's head from when they're 5 years old. You're going to kindergarten, your first experience in school, and they tell you to put your hand over your heart and pledge allegiance to the flag. And America's not the only country that does this. Every country wants their citizens to have a strong emotional attachment to that country. And they start at 5 so that by the time you're 18, you won't hesitate to put yourself in harm's way for your country. And you take that person and you put him in boot camp, 6 weeks of brutal training. My uncle was a soldier, my stepfather was a soldier, one of my best friends was a soldier, and they described the training very vividly, and it's almost legalized torture. I mean, it does seem to cross the line into torture in some ways, but at the very least, it's really, really intense, and I think it's not unfair to call it brutal. And so they whip these people up physically, get them to run miles on end, get them to harden their bodies, and they also get them to harden their hearts. They want no emotional attachment to what they're about to do. They teach them to kill on command and have no remorse about it. And it does long-term harm, which I might talk about another time, but it does some short-term harm also, because again, now you have this finely tuned instrument, and you're just pointing them at the enemy du jour to get whatever you need to get for the corporation that you're representing. And now training is over, and I'll think specifically about World War II. I think Biden said it best. Their generation saved civilization, certainly on behalf of America. And you've got this 18-year-old kid who is all riled up, ready to go, muscles hard, heart deadened to the violence, and you put him on a boat, probably his first time on a boat, certainly over rough seas, and they get to Normandy, one of the places that they fought, and you put them in the smaller vessel to get closer to the beachhead. And after 6 weeks of training and all that torture and work and getting ready to kill the enemy, the door opens and they get cut down by machine gun fire. Because on the beach is someone who was also told that his country is right and just and godly and that the enemies are savages. Right? So all of that and your war is over in 30 seconds. The amount of courage that it takes to do that is just honestly something that I don't think I have. So I have to respect the people that have that kind of courage. And, ultimately, they're not fighting for the corporation. They're not even really fighting for their country. I mean, their country is an ideal that they keep with them, but they're really fighting for the person to their left and the person to their right. That's who they're fighting for. And these are people that they had not known before they were in boot camp. So I can give my life to the people I love. If someone was going to hurt my son or one of the people that I love, I would easily throw myself between them and the harm. But these are not family members. So where does that come from? Where does that courage come from? I have no idea. Maybe I have it inside me, maybe I don't. But I'm not in touch with it if I do. I don't know where that courage lives inside me. So if I can't respect soldiers for that, I don't know what I can respect. So I hope that answers the question. There's a big difference between war and the warriors who fight them. And yes, there are terrible things that these people are driven to do, not just to other people, but to themselves. But either way, they're willing to put themselves in harm's way to protect us. So that's it for now. Peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.